I still think that they've earned a name change, but I'm not really happy. I've been really disappointed over the last 3 weeks of what we've had come at us for, to me, was an innocent request. I don't think the programs are affected by the name. I know the name is offensive. I've lived here all my life. I've heard the controversy about the name all my life. So I understand wanting a name change. But what I'm hearing is the school is good no matter what the name is. I know the perception in the northern part of the district has always been lackadaisical towards Squaw Peak. We've been accused of ignoring Squaw Peak. I think part of ignoring Squaw Peak is because they were ignoring us, and we had kids that were there and kids at our other 8 schools that needed attention just as well. And when you've got 7,000 kids or 9,000 kids you're watching over, parents who don't want to be there they're my least concern when I've got the kids in the other schools and the kids at Squaw Peak to be concerned about. I've heard the vote tonight. I took the tally and it was 66%. And not that that has anything to do with it, but when we put it out to the entire district and we didn't get a big response from our Creighton communicator, and people are complaining that they didn't hear anything about it, and it's because they didn't read the communicator, that's their fault. You guys did a great job. You have done a great job, and I will not ever, ever say different. But the behavior has been really hard to take. And like I said, Squaw Peak's not going to change because we're still going to have the people there that are working hard. Faith and all the teachers are working really hard. We have the FLY program, which I never thought it was called that until the last couple of weeks, so it's nice to say FLY program. But the bottom line is I know there has to be a name change. And I hate the word marketing. It's like data and stuff like that I don't like to deal with, or math. So marketing it's a reality, and so in order to keep the momentum of the school going, there has to be changes. But fortunately, it's not in the classroom. The classrooms are going so strong. So I had to say what I said. If I stepped on toes, I don't care, because I've had my feet stomped on in the last 21 days.
So, Robin, may I ask, in this process then, with everything that's exploded, I guess, in the last 3 weeks, do you think it would have 0 impact on student achievement, negative or positive? Because to me, that's the most important
I truly think that if we don't do this, it is going to impact our school.
In a negative way?
In a negative way. And only because that just seems to be the nature of this beast. Like I said, the faculty's not going to change. Hopefully the kids don't change, the grades don't change, the programs don't change. But I feel like we need to make the change. And so, you know, that's how I felt last time, and I feel that way this time. I'm just a little more sensitive about it than last time.
First, you know, for a lot of years, I've only been on the board for about 3 years now, but for a lot of years, I know that we're not used to having a lot of frontal input and community involvement at our board meetings anyway. And Dr. Maria Paredes, who until recently was our director of community education, if she were here, would be able to cite far better than I could the mountains of research that say that parental involvement, and I would say probably community involvement as well, have a very positive impact on academic achievement. And so to me, even when we have contention, I am happy that there are people who care about the school, who care about their kids, who care about even the kids of their neighborhood. So I'll try to be brief just because it's something I'm not known for, but I think of one of my favorite, someone I respect a lot is the late Congressman Mo Udall, who had a lot of great, from Southern Arizona, who had a lot of great quips, and one of them was that everything that needs to be said has been said, but not everyone who wants to say it has said it. So I want to say what I want to say too, as I think all of you do. This is an issue, from my understanding, again, I wasn't on the board at the time, but it came up 8 years ago when the mountain name was changed and subsequently the freeway. And we had students who came to us who were Squaw Peak students who asked that the name be changed. And I don't know, I don't recall if they were Native American in background, I don't know, but they felt that that was something that was to move us toward being a more welcoming community. And that's something that I'm very strongly supportive of. The long, arduous policy process that was unfortunately set out in our policy was never followed until now. And that process was started because we had some parents who I think felt very strongly about it. And again, I'm happy that we have parents who feel very strongly about it. And I can understand their frustration. Another quote about, you could go back to Mark Twain's quote if he really said it about watching your laws and your sausages being made, things you never want to watch be made. But it's a difficult process. It is the political process. And I don't think it's ever been anyone on this board's intention to derail community input. And I think that we can all be proud that whatever the outcome tonight, that we've now had 3 governing board meetings this year in which this has been discussed. It has gone out in the Creighton Communicator. This is something where we did not make this decision in a back room. Although theoretically, I suppose a governing board could do that. We have chosen not to do that. We've chosen to have an open process. And I really do appreciate and feel better about being able to make my vote than I was not able to 3 weeks ago. I believe that we're not doing this capriciously, we're not doing this in a cavalier way, and 8 years after those Squaw Peak students, Squaw Peak Elementary School, or Squaw Peak School as it was known at the time, after 8 years after they first approached us about doing this, that the time is right now to do this, that this is something that is not maybe the first name I would have chosen, but it does fit the parameters within our policy that say that this is to be, among the other, I think it's 5 or 6 different things that we should be naming our school after. One of them is geography within the community. My parents do live in the area, and I know that they consider themselves to be in the Biltmore, Arcadia area, or maybe that's not what they say. In Phoenix, we don't talk a lot about neighborhoods. We give coordinates of cross streets on a grid, but that's certainly something I've heard. I don't think it came out of the blue. And so I think that whether it's the first name I would have chosen or not, it is something that fits our policy parameters. So to me, well, I know that there are always going to be people who are not going to be happy about it. I think that it's the right thing to do.
I'm glad you agree with that.
That's great for me.
This name change is long overdue. Historically, this word has been associated with hate of a people, alienation of a people, and ignorance toward a people. And it is an injustice if we do not change it. And it also does a disservice to our community and a disservice to the minority-majority students that are the Creighton district. If we do not show our students that if we don't show our students that accepting a word that's full of hate, that's full of alienation and ignorance with such a history, especially in this state, we do them a big disservice, especially since they and their families, some of them have experienced these things as minorities in this community. Secondly, I want to thank all of the parents who've been involved in this name change process. Like it's been said before, it was a grassroots effort, and you guys spent a lot of time and put a lot of effort into getting support from a variety of people in the community, and that is huge. And it really says a lot about your investment in your students and in the school and the other students, all of the students at that school, and I really applaud your efforts. And even those of you who came and do not agree with the name change, showing up and speaking out, shows you're involved in the democratic process. And it's really great to see so many people here in these last few weeks. So kudos again to the process and the committee that brought this name change forward.
Okay. I've never been totally politically correct, so I'll take off both sides. First of all, I agree with, I think Matt mentioned it and all that. If you didn't hear about this prior to, it was sent out in the communicator. It's your fault for not reading. And yes, Robin, I agree with her. We've got more email. And for those of you who sent emails today, I didn't get them. I'll get them tomorrow due to the fact I work for a living. So, but thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, we've gotten more email about this than almost any other thing, any other topic. I don't like the Squaw name. I guess I'm correct on that part. But part of the emails, I read each and every one of the emails. I really didn't look at your name who wrote it, but I read your context and what was said in the emails. And one of them that struck me was, if you don't do this, I'll pull my kids out. And I thought, gee, do I really want a parent that has to be delayed, is not getting instant gratification? You wait 3 more weeks to have a decision, and you're ready to pull your kids out? I think that speaks more than the name change, one way or the other. So, basically, I think a name change is overdue. I'm not sure I like the new name, but I dislike the old name. That's the overriding thing. So, could I have a motion from somebody, please?
Will the governing board approve to change the name of Squaw Peak Traditional Academy to Biltmore Preparatory Academy?
It's been moved to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. There